The Texas Tech community has something to celebrate today after the Kansas City Chiefs secured their second Super Bowl victory. Coming up, we'll let you know why yesterday's big win is also considered a victory for the Red Raiders everywhere.
A historic building on the Texas Tech campus that has sat empty for decades is about to be given a new purpose. Find out the details on the renovation of the TTU Dairy Barn next.
And the Texas Tech men's basketball team headed north to face a third straight ranked opponent. But could the team bring home another win against a top 25 team? MCTV's Austin C. will be in with a look at that story and more in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Ryan Heller.
And I'm Graciella Vasquez. Red Raider Nation is celebrating today as one of the most prolific passers in Tech history helped lead his team to a Super Bowl victory.
That's right, Graciella. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are world champions after defeating the San Francisco 49ers last night, 31-20. Last night's game gained a lot of interest locally as Mahomes became the first Texas college quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. Mahomes also took home Super Bowl MVP honors last night, making him the youngest player in the history of the NFL to win the award. Mahomes and the Chiefs also made history as the only team to ever come back from double-digit deficits to win all of their postseason games, including the Super Bowl. Last night's game, following that, Mahomes was announced as this year's Super Bowl MVP and joined the rest of the team as they received the Lombardi Trophy. The victory marks only the second time the Chiefs have won a Super Bowl, with their first win coming back all the way back in Super Bowl IV in 1970. Mahomes played for the Texas Tech football team for 3 years, from 2014 to 2016. He started for the Red Raiders in his last 2 years at Tech. Over 3 seasons, Mahomes racked up 11,252 yards and 93 touchdowns. Those stats put him in 3rd place all-time at Texas Tech, only behind Graham Harrell and Cliff Kingsbury. However, both Harrell and Kingsbury played 4 seasons at Tech, unlike Mahomes, who left in his junior year. Mahomes was the 10th overall pick in the first round in the 2017 NFL Draft, going to the Kansas City Chiefs. In 2018, Mahomes became the starter for Kansas City, and he rounded out that year as the youngest player to ever be named MVP in the NFL. Coming up later in sports, MCTV's Austin C. will be in with highlights and stats from yesterday's big game.
Back here on campus, one department held a special event last week to celebrate a big day on the Chinese calendar. The 2020 Chinese Spring Festival celebration took place on Friday in the International Culture Center's Hall of Nations. Celebrating at 4 p.m., community members were invited to stop by and enjoy Chinese-themed activities and entertainment. The event was centered around the traditional Lunar New Year celebration, which is observed each year in China. Friday's event included family-friendly dancing, singing, games, crafts, food, and more.
It's a very rich culture, and it's really cool once you get to know it and understand it a little bit. So we just invite everybody to kind of partake and just celebrate the new year just in a different way.
The Chinese Spring Festival celebration was hosted on the Office of International Affairs in conjunction with the TTU Chinese Language Program and the Tech Chinese Language and Culture Association. Along with Friday's event, the ICC also held a Vietnamese Lunar New Year celebration on Thursday.
A new construction project is currently underway on campus, and when it's finished, it will give new life to one of the campus's oldest buildings. The long-awaited renovation of the Texas Tech Dairy Barn is currently underway. Construction started in mid-January, following the winter break. The dairy barn was originally built in 1926, but it has sat dormant for most of the university's history. Then, in 2017, a plan to fully renovate the interior of the facility was announced by the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources. The $3.5 million project includes the creation of a studio gallery area, offices, and a conference room on the first floor, along with an event space on the second floor. Renovations will also include the addition of restrooms, a catering area, and a lobby inside the building's main entry. There is no set date for the completion of the project. Over the weekend, the South Plains experienced another round of spring-like conditions. Temperatures climbed above 70 degrees on both Saturday and Sunday, making for a great couple of days to get outside.
That's right, Ryan. But after today, some huge changes are on the way that will bring a return of the winter to the area. MCTV's Madison Hartin joins us in the studio with the latest look at the forecast. Madison?
Thanks, guys. Well, despite all the warm temperatures we've been seeing over the last couple of days, we still are in February and thus are still in winter, and we will be seeing a return to the normal winter conditions as this week continues. Right now, looking at our MCTV tower cam, we can see that most of the abundant sunshine that we were experiencing this morning has left the area as clouds have started to roll in, and these clouds will start to become more overcast and persist overnight. For right now, the temperature today has climbed all the way up to 71 degrees, so today is still fairly warm and nice, warm and breezy outside. Southwesterly wind coming at 20 to 30 miles per hour, but you could see gusts outside higher than that, so hang on to your hats and make sure you keep your skirts down, ladies, because gusts of wind can really blow those things away. For tonight, the temperature is going to drop back down to 41 degrees. It is going to be a little bit more chilly as the day goes on, and especially as that front starts to move through. Cloudy and cold conditions for the evening, again, as that cloud cover starts to become a little bit more covering. For southwesterly wind coming at 10 to 20 miles per hour, persisting for that day. Now, the thing that everyone's been talking about, that everyone wants to hear about, is the winter weather we will be experiencing tomorrow. Our winter weather should be arriving around 6 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And remember that if you are planning on going to the Texas Tech basketball game, that starts at 8, but they're advising anyone who is not good at driving on the roads in snow to be off the roads by 6 o'clock. It's just safer that way. If you're not used to driving on slick conditions, don't chance it. It's better to not go than to try to go somewhere and get into a wreck and get hurt, or worse, hurt somebody else. It's just not safe, and I really do not advise it. There's been plenty of accidents happen here because of hydroplaning or anything else, but it's just not safe to be on the roads. Please take my word for it. Now remember, we should be getting off the roads by 6 o'clock p.m. And also remember to check on any elderly neighbors, bring your pets in, and also if you live in an older house, make sure you turn on the tap. That way your pipes don't freeze overnight because it is going to be chilly. With this, we are going to be seeing some winter precipitation come through the area. For the most part, Lubbock metropolitan area will get 4 to 6 inches of this winter weather, but our greatest chances of it are actually into the southeast of us by Guthrie and Aspermont, with over 6 inches of snow possible for that area. That is insane. It's like that blizzard that we had last year. Remember, everyone during finals week? That's about what they're going to be experiencing right over there. Going into tomorrow, we are going to be seeing a drop in temperatures as the day goes on. Usually our highest temperatures for today happen around mid-afternoon to around sundown. That'll be completely opposite for tomorrow. Our warmest temperatures will happen right before noon at 46 degrees. 20 degrees will be our low. That'll happen around sundown time. And a north by northeasterly wind coming at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And we have a 60% chance of that winter precipitation coming through Lubbock. For Wednesday, that is going to be persisting in through the day with a low of only 13 degrees for that day and a high of only 37 degrees. So it's still going to be chilly, and that winter wind coming from the north by northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour still persisting, but there is a light at the end of this tunnel in the form of the sun coming out on Thursday. It is going to still be chilly that day with a high of only 48 and a low of 25, but the sun and the lack of cloud cover will make things seem a little bit nicer, and it should melt any of that ice if it's persisted on the roads. And a west by northwesterly wind coming at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, I know I'm a big stickler about getting off the roads at those times, but it's just not safe to be driving in those conditions. And if you are, take it slow. Don't be in a hurry. You don't want to get hurt on those roads. I'm Madison Hartin for MCTV Weather. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Madison. The Texas Tech men's basketball team was hoping to improve their resume as they continued conference play on the road over the weekend.
But after a big win last week here in Lubbock, could the Red Raiders continue their success on the road? MCTV's Austin C. joins us in the studio with all the details in sports. Austin?
Thanks, Graciella and Ryan. With a win over West Virginia, the Red Raiders look to continue their winning streak against the Kansas Jayhawks. However, that would prove to be more difficult against the third-ranked team in the country. The Red Raiders started off very slow as the Jayhawks went up 19-4 just 6 minutes into the first half. Luckily, Texas Tech was able to cut that early 15-point deficit to a single-possession game as Jamias Ramsey led the way with 26 points, weathering the Jayhawks' hot start. The Red Raiders, shooting 42.6% from the field, were able to remain within reach down the stretch, holding the Jayhawks to a mere 57-55 lead midway through the second half. However, the Jayhawks strung together a 9-0 run to push it to an 11-point game with just 6.5 minutes left. The Red Raiders made one last run, but even with 2 late threes by TJ Holyfield to pull within 4, the Red Raiders could not overcome the Kansas offense and finished with a 78-75 loss Along with Ramsey, teammate TJ Holyfield finished the game with 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 blocks. This week, the Red Raiders will return to Lubbock to play the Oklahoma Sooners tomorrow at 8 p.m. at the USA. If you can't make the game in person, you can watch it on ESPN2. The Lady Raider basketball team is having a pretty great year so far with a record of 14-5. They are taking great steps as the season goes on. However, after a loss to number 1 ranked Baylor, they look to bounce back against the Oklahoma State Cowgirls last Saturday with a big win. The game started off sluggish for the Lady Raiders as they kept the game close for a quarter and a half, keeping the deficit within 10 points. Luckily, with 4 minutes left in the second quarter and the score tied at 35-all, the Lady Raiders finally got some momentum and went on a scoring run. They began to pull away from the Cowgirls, shooting 57% in field goals and an astonishing 64% from beyond the arc. With the threes falling down, the Lady Raiders left the Cowgirls in the dust and finished the game with a 109-79 victory. Brittany Brewer led the way with 26 points and 10 rebounds, followed by Andrea Adams with 24 points and 6 rebounds, and Crislin Carr with 17 points and 3 rebounds. The Raider bench also had a field day with Sydney Goodson scoring 14 points and 10 rebounds, while Alexis Tucker had 15 points and 4 rebounds. Up next, the Lady Raiders will travel to Manhattan, Kansas on Wednesday to play the Kansas State Wildcats at 6:30 p.m. And you can watch it on ESPN+. It's a big day for both Tech fans and Chiefs fans as the Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl 54 champions, defeating the San Francisco 49ers. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes led his team to their first Lombardi Trophy in 50 years and becomes the first person to win the MVP and a Super Bowl before the age of 25. Mahomes led their offense with 286 yards on 26 completions and 3 touchdowns, one to running back Damian Williams, who had 104 yards on 17 carries and 1 rushing touchdown, one to tight end Travis Kelce, and the other was one he ran in himself in the first quarter. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jimmy Garoppolo had 219 yards on 20 completions and 1 touchdown pass to receiver Kyle Juszczyk, who had 3 receptions for 39 yards, as well as running back Raheem Mostert, who had 58 yards on 12 attempts and 1 touchdown. While the 49ers had a fantastic season, their defense couldn't compete with the Chiefs' high-powered offense, giving us a big ending to the 100th season of the NFL. Well, that's all for sports. Back to you, Graciella and Ryan.
Thanks, Austin. Throughout the year, students in Texas Tech School of Art have the chance to showcase their creation in the Art Buildings Gallery.
And right now, you have a chance to check out a very intimate and unsettling exhibition of one of the school's Master of Fine Arts candidates. Playing with Dolls is currently on display in the Art Buildings Folio Gallery. The exhibition features a set of drawings, paintings, and 3-dimensional images that convey thoughts and feelings of artist Brianna Berry. The works on display are meant to allow the viewer to observe Berry's internal battles that she experienced after witnessing the death of a loved one. The result is a series of vivid and disturbing images that allow the audience to connect with not only Berry's own struggles, but their own internal struggles and conflicts as well. If you would like to see the exhibit in person, you can stop by the Art Buildings Folio Gallery Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., Saturdays between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m., or on Sundays from noon to 4 p.m. The Art Buildings will also feature extended hours on Thursday, with all galleries remaining open until 9 p.m. Playing with Dolls will be on display from now until February 16th.
So Ryan, did you watch yesterday's Super Bowl?
You bet I did. Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech alum, that's our guy. Of course I'm going to watch that, and I'm happy that they won. But what about you? Did you watch it?
I watched it. We had a great halftime show.
We did, and I thought that this year's was actually better than last year's, but that's just my preference.
I agree. That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We will see you on Thursday.